welcome back to another episode of the StackSat Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. Dang. Hope everybody had a good, long weekend. Shout out, round of applause from the live studio audience for Garrett. What up, Garrett? Yeah, I bought those dips. Still buying every day. Man. And still stacking Bitcoin. How much Bitcoin do you need? All of it. I'm just kidding. You need more than you currently have. Okay? More than you currently have. That is the answer to the question today. How much Bitcoin do you need? Well, that's only part of the question. How much Bitcoin do you need to do X? Retire? To buy a house? Right? It's a moving target. Okay? But just know this. You need more Bitcoin than you currently have. Okay? You need more Bitcoin than you currently have. When BlackRock, Michael Saylor, Fidelity, all those companies stop buying Bitcoin, you can stop buying Bitcoin too. Until then, keep stacking. Okay? But tight, you don't have enough Bitcoin. Okay? You don't have enough Bitcoin. Keep buying. Shout out, round of applause from the live studio audience for McLovin in the house. What up, McLovin? I said Carlos had a mute in the house. What up, Carlos? Hope you had a good weekend. It's a long weekend. Hope you all had enjoyed your holiday. Man. Oh my gosh. I'm almost there. My hand is out of the cast. I have most of my flexibility here to make a fist. Right? And my wrist, most of the mobility is there. It's pretty close. So I would say I'm like 92%. Yeah, more like 95% of my flexibility here. So cast is off. The cast is on the wall. Study Bitcoin. And yeah, making progress. The diet is going amazing. I am down to about 166. I need some coffee. 166. And it is good. I think I'm at my lowest I've been in a really long time. When I get to 165 pounds, I'm gonna go have a cheat meal where I can just eat whatever I want. I might even just have a banana split. Oh, I know what I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have some I said this before. I'm gonna have a Elvis shake from Corvette Diner. That's what I'll be doing when I hit 165. All right. Anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about Bitcoin here, guys. Okay. Here on the show, we buy Bitcoin on weekdays to show what it's like for a regular person to buy Bitcoin a little bit at a time. Okay. So in order to do that, we gotta be able to understand what Bitcoin is and all that good stuff. And if you're new to that, you're trying to figure it out, you're in the right place. If you have any questions, ask questions. I'll sit here and explain it to you in a palatable way that is gonna hopefully make it easier for you to understand. If you're not new here and you're already a stackopath, welcome back. Let's stack them up. Let's jump into the SAT strength. How much is Bitcoin today? It's $68,240.49. At the price of Bitcoin today, you can buy 1,460. Oh, why is it not on the screen? There we go. 1,465 Satoshis for a single dollar. What is a Satoshi, you might be asking yourself. What's a SAT? SAT is what we call a Satoshi. SAT is short for Satoshis. One Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis, just like a dollar is made up of 100 pennies. If you save up enough pennies, eventually you'll have a dollar. If you save up enough Satoshis, eventually you'll have a Bitcoin. It's just basically less than a whole Bitcoin is considered a Satoshi. Okay? So, that said, today you can buy 1,465 Satoshis for a single dollar. Another way to look at this is if you're walking down the street, minding your own business, you look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day you'll have not only good luck, but You could take that penny and buy 14 Satoshis today. Okay? It's not bad. You're still getting more than 10 Satoshis for a penny. It's pretty wild. Okay? All right. That just goes to show you that you don't have to spend a whole $68,000 at once to get a whole Bitcoin. You can buy it in fractions. Okay? And whatever value you do set aside in Bitcoin, that value is now shielded from inflation. So let's talk about that for a little bit. Yeah? Let's talk about that during the Why We Stack segment. All right, we stack because saving the value that you work hard for, the value that you exchange your life for in labor or in creativity and the products you make and sell, that purchasing power you're earning when held in dollars will get debased and you'll lose that purchasing power over time. So you'll never be wealthy. You'll never be able to accumulate enough dollars faster than the government can print dollars so that you can, in essence, get ahead or even not fall behind, let alone get ahead. Okay? If you're not able to work and generate profits of over whatever inflation is, then in essence, you're losing purchasing power day to day, week by week, month to month, year over year. You're losing purchasing power. Even if the amount of cash that you're holding, the amount of dollars you're holding is going up, the things you can buy with those dollars is not going up. The things you can buy with those dollars is going down. So you need more and more of those dollars. So even if you are making more dollars and saving those dollars, you're not saving them faster than they are devaluing, faster than they are losing purchasing power. So you will never become wealthy. You'll always have to work the rest of your life, and you'll never be able to retire or do something else besides what you're doing now for work, right? Or whatever. It basically makes it to where it's stealing your prosperity. It's keeping you where you're at, and you can't figure out why it's not working. You're working as hard as you can. You might be doing 2 jobs. You might be doing 2 jobs and an Uber on the side, and you still can't make enough money to cover your basic expenses, let alone save for a down payment on a house or even a car or whatever. Because again, as long as you're saving in dollars, you're getting debased. And the only people getting wealthy during this time are people that are able to afford hard assets like stocks, real estate, other stuff, maybe, and even Bitcoin, right? Of all the hard assets you can own that are going to perform better than the dollar, the best ones you own would be Bitcoin, okay? Because a lot of these assets, a lot of these other asset classes like real estate and have added expenses that you don't factor into the purchase price when you're trying to decide whether it's going to be a good investment or not, right? If you can buy a property and it goes up in value relative to the economy, but it doesn't go up as much as it should to beat inflation, then in essence, you're losing money because that property doesn't just cost you what you paid for it. It's going to cost you the interest if you're doing a loan on it. It's going to cost you your taxes if it's in the United States, right? Where they tax, it's taxable. And it's going to cost you additional fees like insurance and repair, all those things that a lot of people don't take into account when they're trying to figure out if they're upside down or not on a property. Okay. So with Bitcoin, all you got to do is buy it, hold it, or take it into custody is another way to put it. And your value that you set aside is not only automatically shielded from inflation. In other words, as long as the government continues to print money, if your value is outside of that money, if you're not holding it in cash, if you're holding it in Bitcoin, your purchasing power goes up. Okay, and it's just as simple as that. The thumbnail said wealth blueprint, right? What is the wealth blueprint? It's not that complicated. You don't need a bunch of systems and all that stuff. All you need is whatever you do to generate revenue, whether it's your job, whether it's a business you started, whether it's a service you're doing, whatever way you generate income, you gotta take a portion of that income and put it into Bitcoin so that it can now be shielded from inflation. And whatever you're doing to generate that income, just keep doing it, right? To pay your bills and do whatever. But whatever part of that you're gonna save, put that into Bitcoin so that as the economy gets worse, and as the government continues to print money, whether it's a Republican or Democrat in office, the purchasing power of your Satoshis will continue to go up over time. And that is the real secret of how you get wealthy. Okay. You get wealthy by holding things that increase your purchasing power. Okay. As your purchasing power increases, you start to feel more and more wealthy because you can afford more things by giving up less and less of your asset. Okay. For sure, no liability to self custody. BTC, very awesome. Exactly. No liability for having your coins. There's no additional taxes unless you sell it, but you're not going to sell it. There's no leakage. In other words, no fees, no taxes on it just for holding it, right? Like, for example, if you hold property, you have to pay a tax every year for whatever the value that they think your house is worth, right? And that's just value being withdrawn from your building, right, in the form of taxes, okay? And eventually, it might not happen in a couple of years, but over maybe 20, 30 years, 40 years, your property becomes the government's property anyway. So you did all that for nothing, right? And by the time it's your turn to go, your prosperity that you thought you were saving for future generations just gets gobbled up by the system, and they get nothing. They get to start over from scratch. All right? They get to start over. So you save in Bitcoin. We save in Bitcoin for your last name. Save in Bitcoin for your descendants, for your future generations of your lineage, right? And it's that simple. The blueprint is, again, buy Bitcoin. You can do it through an exchange. You can do it through like HODL HODL. You can do it from another Bitcoiner that happens to be selling Bitcoin at like a Bitcoin meetup, right? Once you buy it, make sure you actually own it by transferring it off of the exchange, transferring it from that person that sold it to you to your own Bitcoin wallet that you have the keys for. And by doing so, you have verified on the Bitcoin network where you can see it on the blockchain or the time chain. You can see your transaction. You can look up your wallet ID and see how many Bitcoin are in that wallet ID. And with 100% certainty, verify that Bitcoin has actually been moved to your account. Okay? You don't do that with the banks, right? The banks give you an IOU for the cash you deposit, right? And if they stay afloat, if it's not above $250,000, that's FDIC insured, you should be okay, right? But what does that mean? It means that if let's say you have $200,000 in the bank and your bank crashes and the government comes in and takes it over and backstops your $200,000 worth of deposits and says, you know what, you're good. You'll have $200,000 worth of deposits. We know you had it. You're good. You still have it. We're just going to move your account to this other bank, and your account is still backed by the government, right? Well, what does that even mean? It means that they've given that new bank like a credit to say that whatever deposits that first bank had are backed now by the government. And so if they need to print more money to make those accounts whole, they will do it, right? But what does that really mean? Okay, well, it really means this. If the government bails out banks or backstops banks or whatever, they are creating money out of thin air, right? Because the bank that originally had that money that lost it on crappy investments, they basically pushed their losses onto society by having the government step in and save them and backstopping those deposits, right? So by backstopping those deposits, they create more dollars, and by creating more dollars, they make your $200,000 worth. It's still worth $200,000, but you can buy a lot less things with it. So, did your purchasing power go up? No, your purchasing power went down. When your purchasing power goes down when banks get bailed out. Simple as that. You don't lose money, but you still lose. But there was a value lost by the original bank. So in order to create that value, they got to go print more money. And when they print more money, they take a little bit of value from the rest of the money in the circulation to compensate for that. and your money included. So as long as you're in that dollar system, or whatever government money you're in, if you're in the peso, in the bolivar, in the yen, whatever government money you're in, as long as if they can print more of it, they will. And when they do so, your purchasing power is lost, or not lost, but or it goes down. Your purchasing power is getting depleted. Okay, so what do? Back to the blueprint. Simple. Buy Bitcoin with whatever money you don't need immediately for like a year or two, right? Save in Bitcoin, and when you save in Bitcoin, you take it off the exchange and you put it into custody for a wallet that you own, that you set up, and that you only have the keys for, right? Nobody else. Once that's done, you're outside the system. Whatever value you set aside, you are winning now, right? You're basically now the system that continues to devalue the dollar, right? It will actually start working for you as if you were a high net worth individual that had a bunch of properties and different things, different assets, right? You don't need to be wealthy to start buying Bitcoin. You can buy it today for like $5-10, right? So let's do this little example here, right? I know this is kind of bleeding into the stack recap, but let's just do the stack recap so we continue on this topic, okay? So stack recap, here we go. Stack recap. Homeowners Association fees, that's a good one, McLovin. Real estate investment, sometimes it seems like a racket to me. Yep, there's taxes, insurance, homeowners fees, etc., maintenance fees, whatever, right? There's always something broken with it. You always got to fix it. All right, so. And on top of that, McLovin, people live in your, if you own a house and you're renting it out, someone else lives there. Someone else, like possession is 9/10, right? It's really difficult to kick them out because there's like all these protections for renters. It's also difficult to raise the rent where you feel you should be, you want it to be profitable because there's rent control as well, right? So it's your real estate, but you got to pay taxes on it every year. You can't do anything you want with it because you got to follow the rules of the government. And so is it really yours? Is it really yours? It's probably not, right? It's not. If you stop paying that, see what happens, okay? When I buy my Bitcoin, when I buy Satoshis, I buy them, I take them into self-custody, and that's it. I don't have to keep paying on those Satoshis, okay? I don't have to keep paying on them or they're going to disappear or they're going to get confiscated, right? No, I buy them, I move them to my custody, and that's it. That's all I got to do. All right. So in this scenario, in this reality, right? Last year we started stacking here on the show back in May, and we're up about 71% today. Okay, our $6,500 worth of deposits, worth of savings, have turned into $11,149. We'll say our 6.5 thousand turned into 11,000, right? In about a year. Now, the way you should really look at this is that it takes more weaker dollars today to buy the same stuff. That's why your house goes up in value. That's why all stuff goes up in value. Okay. Now Bitcoin has an added benefit that it's the scarcest thing you can own. It's the hardest money that exists, hardest asset that exists, because you can't make more of it. You can make more of everything else, just not Bitcoin. So it's gonna go up the most out of the stuff that you can invest in. The hardest thing to get is what goes up the most. Okay, so there it is, plain and simple. There it is. That is the blueprint, right? And we're doing this whole show and having fun and it's entertaining. But the blueprint is the same. Whether you started 10 years ago, whether you start now, whether you started a year ago like we did on the show, or whether you start in a week or in a month or in another year. It doesn't matter. Whenever you start, if you can hodl Bitcoin for like a good 4-year cycle, a 4-year Bitcoin cycle, right? Then you look back and you can do the historical view of the charts of Bitcoin. And if you look at any 4-year window, you're in the positive. Okay. So if you can stack a little bit on the side of money that you're going to spend on frivolous things like coffees and sugary drinks that you don't need, that are probably even bad for your health, if you could take that little bit of value and set it aside in Bitcoin, then you too could reap the benefits of this. It's basically a life hack, guys. It's basically a wealth hack. Like, you buy the Bitcoin, you store the Bitcoin, and you don't need to do anything else. You can go back to figuring out different ways to create value for society so that you can get more income. And when you get more income, you buy more Bitcoin. And when you get more Bitcoin, you feel more wealthy. And as the price of Bitcoin goes up, because the money printer keeps going and debasing the dollar, everything in terms of Bitcoin, the prices are falling. Everything's in terms of dollars, the prices are going up. Okay, let's go into that real quick. The sats per goods chart today. Oh, we saw 59. Okay, I was gonna show you, but I thought we're at 60. We're close. Milk in October cost me $6.99. If I was gonna pay that in Bitcoin, it would cost me 25,509 satoshis. Today, the price of Bitcoin is still $6.99. But if I was going to pay with Bitcoin, it would only cost me 10,000 satoshis. That's less than half. That's 60% off of the price of milk between October and today. Okay, so that's how fast the dollar is losing value relative to Bitcoin. So now, pop quiz, and this is not a trick question. Okay, would you rather pay full price for something, or would you rather pay 60% off for that same thing? Let me know. What would you do? You think it's better to pay full price for something, or pay 60% off? It's a really easy question, right? And if you understand, and if you don't get that piece, then there's no hope. Get out of here. I was kidding. It's not there's no hope, but right? You have to just look at the math. Like, this is not my opinion. This is not, I didn't make something up. This is me tracking the data. This is me tracking the real thing, right? In October 3rd, at whatever the price of Bitcoin was, I should have put the price in here. That's okay. $6.99 would have bought you 25,509 satoshis. Today, $6.99 will only buy you 10,226 satoshis. Okay, so yeah, you need 60% more dollars to buy the same amount of satoshis. Okay, and you take this same idea and you extrapolate it out to the other things that you have to purchase and pay for in your life. Right? What would it be like to have 60% off your rent? How much of a better life would you have if your rent was 60% off? Right? If your car payment was 60% off since October. Yeah, since October. Okay. So now now let's look at the one that I've been saving for the year, right? For the year since May. That one is slightly better, right? That money is 72%, right? So it's 72% off of your bills. How much easier would your life get if your insurance, your car payment, and your home payment or your rent was 60% or 72% off, right? It's pretty wild. So figure out ways to save in Bitcoin so that and this is just in the year, right? Our project is nowhere near its end. We are just getting started. This is only 1 year in. We still have to go through the next bear cycle, right? But we haven't even gone through this halving's bull cycle, right? We're gonna get to the bull cycle. It's gonna go wherever it's gonna go. It might go to 100,000. It might go to 500,000. It might go to 200,000. It might just go to 80,000, right? Who knows? But I doubt it. And then it's gonna drop down wherever it ends up. It might drop down to like 50% of that, or 80% of that, or 60% of that, right? And then you kind of just keep hodling and you keep buying more Bitcoin. And then we're getting ready for the next cycle, right? When's the next cycle? 2024, so 2028. 2028, you know, that'll be the end, towards the end of the term for whoever gets elected this cycle, right? And who knows where Bitcoin will be, but it'll be, I doubt we'll see, I don't know, who knows? Who knows if we'll see $20,000 Bitcoin again or $30,000 Bitcoin again, right? Between now and in 4 years, with the amount of volume of purchases that the institutions are doing, right? With the ETF and all that other stuff, right? And then as other nations get involved and decide, okay, well, you know what? This is kind of a better store of value, so they're going to get into it. Pension funds, all that stuff. And I doubt, like, the likelihood of it to go up is better than the likelihood of it to go down. What up, J-Dub in the house? What up, J-Dub? Good to see you in here. Round of applause from the live studio audience. I'm ranting, dude. I'm kind of, I think I said enough. Okay? The blueprint for wealth is simple. Buy Bitcoin. Take custody of that Bitcoin into a wallet that you have the seed phrase for and you control. And that's it. Okay? That's the blueprint. That's, well, actually, you know what? Let me give you the full blueprint. That is what you do with the value you create with your job, with your business, or whatever. Okay? Yes, pay whatever you got to pay for in whatever currency you got to pay in. Your local currency for the rent, to pay payroll, whatever, right? But once you get that, once you get the free and clear money for your profits, take those profits and put them in Bitcoin, because it's going to be your treasury reserve. Okay? Eventually, right? Eventually those profits or that Bitcoin stack will generate you more revenue than your actual business. Look at what Michael Saylor is doing, right? That company is gaining in value not because of their business model. Their business model still works, and they are generating revenue, right? But it got to the point already where they're generating more off of the profits of holding Bitcoin, right? So you can do that too for yourself. Okay? We're doing it here in a way for the show, right? It's super simple, right? Our show stack is 0.16 Bitcoin, and I kind of half laugh because right now it's nothing, right? It's not bad. It's like $11,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? But eventually, even though this show is 100% funded by my actual job, because I'm paying this money out of my own pocket, and I'm paying this money out of the stuff I sell around the house, right? It is still, it's going to get to this little savings, this little Bitcoin savings account is going to be more profitable than most people today that have not started stacking sats, right? Like my little stack it's gonna be more profitable. The stack for the show is gonna be more profitable over time than somebody that's working full time right now and saving in dollars, even though I'm only saving a little bit per day. And I guess it's about $100 a week, right? It's about $100 a week. So for $400 a month, that's a car payment, maybe, right? A really modest car payment, right? But the value that is setting aside, and the multiplication factor that Bitcoin gives you is going to make it so that even though we are only stacking $400 a month, this little 0.16 Bitcoin will be worth more than somebody's savings that they've held for a long time and kind of built up, because they're saving again in the wrong vehicle. They're saving in the money that steals from you, right? And we're saving in the money that protects you from inflation, and in so doing, it builds your purchasing power. It gives you more purchasing power, right? So anyway, I know that was a long one, guys. Saving in Bitcoin makes life easier. The longer you hold it, the easier it will be to see that, and you will start seeing it right away, especially right now. You know, even if we have a crazy dip, it's gonna trend up for at least, I would guess, I've also heard other people say it, for like a good 12 to 18 months of like higher lows, right? And then we'll eventually get into the bear run, and that's fine. Just keep stacking. It just doesn't change anything. Like all that stuff, it just has to do with the money manipulation, right? The interest rates and all that stuff. Like just ignore all that stuff. As long as you have your stuff in custody and you have your control over your keys, you'll be good to go. And if based on elections you don't like who's in office or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like the whoever ends up in office is still gonna be devaluing you, debasing the dollar for different reasons. The warmongers are still gonna warmonger, right? We're still gonna bomb people. We're still gonna rebuild countries, right? Because they see it as a way to air quotes stimulate the economy, right? By creating like manufacturing jobs and all that stuff, replacing our armaments with newer armaments and giving away our old armaments, right? It's them spending your money without your permission because they don't have to bring that stuff to a vote, right? It's them debasing your savings to spend on things to make themselves and their associates richer, right? And you get left holding the bag. Everything is like that. Real estate, militarization, wars, right? It's all about making profits. It's all about making money. Okay. J-Dub says, oh, Carlos says sad. And then Carlos texts, to an extent, Okupa is happening. A coup? You mean? A coup? It's happening in the America. Yeah, like Mt. Gox News only dipped price 2%. Wow. I will be humble. I will not be humble, says J-Lo. Yeah, me either, dude. I'm done being humble. Rookie 80. What's up, Rookie? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for tuning in. We are a show where we talk about saving in Bitcoin and Bitcoin only. We don't talk about poop coins. We don't talk about trading Bitcoin. We don't talk about what else? Yield products for Bitcoin, where you buy some Bitcoin, you put it in an account somewhere, and they give you a percentage yield. Those are all scams. Okay, so we're here for people that really want to understand what Bitcoin is and how it protects you from inflation and how it actually is the best way to build long-term wealth. Is by saving in Bitcoin, taking it into custody, into a wallet you have the keys for, and creating value for society in exchange for creating things or making yourself useful to society in exchange for value, and you take that value and you do what you need to do with it and you save it in Bitcoin. All right. So that said, we don't only talk about stacking sats here all the time, relentlessly, Monday through Friday. We also buy Bitcoin. Okay. And so we kind of danced in and out of the stack recap, but real quick, 5-second recap, or not, 10-second recap. Okay. We started saving Bitcoin here on the show back in May 22nd, 2023. We've invested $6,491.91 so far. The current stack size of the show is 0.16347,101 Bitcoin. In other words, 16 million Satoshis. If we were to go and try to buy the same amount of Satoshis today with today's weaker dollars, we would have to pay 72% more. Okay, that's it. That's the mic drop right there, right? Just in 2024, we started tracking it separately. It's the same purchases, but these only include the purchases for 2024. We've invested $3,007.40 for in Bitcoin buys. At the price of Bitcoin today, if we were to go back and buy the same amount of Satoshis, 5.6 million Satoshis, it would cost us 27% more weaker US dollars today to buy the same amount of sats, to buy the same amount of Bitcoin. Okay. So just right there in 5 months, about 6 months now, in 6 months, the dollar has lost 27% of its value against Bitcoin. In a year, the dollar has lost 72% of its value against Bitcoin. Okay. So straightforward, plain and simple. These purchases are not numbers I just made up. I bought every single one of these purchases on a show, on an episode of this show. there's maybe five purchases that I didn't do on different times when I had days off, but I still bought for the show. But it's all being tracked here. On most of these we have episodes for the show where we do those purchases, and so this is legit. I'm not trying to scam anybody out of anything. My only goal here is to help new people understand what Bitcoin is and how it can make you more wealthy, not for my sake, but for your sake, right? Because I think the world will be a better place if more people knew and understood how to save in Bitcoin. Because when you save enough in Bitcoin, you're going to get to a place where it's not going to matter what your job is. You can quit your job and you can do whatever your heart desires. And for the most part, most people will tend to do positive things to help their family, things to help their neighbors, things to help society. And so if you have enough freedom to do what you love to do, it's very likely that you'll do something that's beneficial for society, right? So if you can save enough Bitcoin, get out of the rat race, and begin to have the time to focus on the things that you want to focus on, it's more likely that somebody with that disposition and with that hope in their heart of being able to get out of debt and see the light ahead, see the future, see a brighter future, it's more likely that you'll do things that are good for society, right? And that you'll plan things long term, and that you'll have more of a balanced approach or way to look at life, right? And if that's the case, then in essence, by me doing this show, I'm helping that message along. I'm helping that future along by hopefully creating or inspiring somebody to learn about Bitcoin a little bit, and in so doing, that person might be like the best at doing something that helps society or helps the world, right? And my little part in getting that person turned on to Bitcoin is exactly what I want to do. That's like my that's the buzz for me, right? That is I'm helping the next generation of Bitcoiners come along, right? And that'll help society in general. Anyway, all right. So that was a long one. I apologize. Roman, Trump asked David Bailey if Bitcoin can help with the deficit. Game theory may come sooner than we think. Let's see. Yeah, we don't talk about politics too much in here. I don't like to get into the politics of it. But like, brother, we have 2 old guys running to be president that are so disconnected from reality, right? One guy is a career politician that probably has never done his own laundry, right? And another guy is like a rich adulterer that probably has never done his own laundry, right? So I have nothing. I can't empathize with either, right? And they do not represent my values. And they're both gonna spend our money on whatever they choose to. So it's a lose-lose. Heads, you win. No, heads I win, tails you lose, right? It's just a way for people to manipulate society and let them believe that they have a choice, right? Like your vote, you're voting to print more money on one side, or you're voting to print more money on that side. Okay? And just pick your flavor, doesn't matter, they're still gonna print more money. Okay? It still doesn't change the Bitcoin blueprint here. It still doesn't change the blueprint for getting wealthy. Okay? Buy Bitcoin, take custody of that Bitcoin, and it doesn't matter who's in office. They're both going to continue to debase the dollar. Okay? And as long as anybody continues to debase the dollar for one reason or the other, if one guy's against the war, one guy's for the war, one guy's for this, one guy's for that, one guy's for corporations, one guy's for not corporations, one guy's for immigration, one guy's for not immigration, it doesn't matter. They're all gonna spend money. It doesn't matter what they spend the money on. They're going to keep spending it. It's money they don't have. It's money out of your prosperity, money out of your future, right? They're spending the future earnings of you, your kids, and your kids' kids. And they've probably already spent that, right? They're just working on your kids' now, right? So again, the only way out is to have wealth outside of the grasp of those psychopaths by being a stackopath. What up, Hyder? Round of applause from the live studio audience for Hyder. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Don't let the psychopaths get your value. Stack like a stackopath. All right. Today we're going to buy $20 worth of Bitcoin. And then we're also going to do our 100 stacks challenge recap. On the 100 stacks challenge. Let's see. I bought the low lines this weekend. I bought, oops. Wow. We're not that, wait, is that it? Oh, I was like, wow, that was fast. No, it's this one. Sorry. There it is. We're 21 days away from completing the 100 stacks challenge. I bought lines 22 and 23 over the weekend. Sorry, was it 25? The 25th was Saturday. The 25th on Saturday, I bought the $46 line. And then on Sunday, I bought that 22. And then yesterday, I bought the 23. So today, we're going to choose between buying the $24 line or the $45 line during the 100 stacks challenge. But let's get going. So let's do the things we need to do. We need to buy some stacks. Here we go. It's time to stack some sets. All right. So for the normal purchase of the show, the dollar cost average of the show, the Bitcoin cost average of the show. Ah, dang it. I got to log in, guys. Give me a second. Dang it. This is baloney. They're slowing me down. Slowing down the show. Let's see. Let me just get in here and scan my retina and get access to my account, guys. Give me a second. At least now I can type with two hands, so it should go a little bit faster. There it is. Can I beat the music? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, get in there. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to beat the music. Yeah, I can beat it. Oh, maybe not. Retina scan. Come on, retina scan. There it is. I beat it. All right, I'm in. I barely made it too. Okay. So we're gonna buy our first purchase of the day to do our DCA. Let me get this preview and a screenshot. There it is. Screenshot that. Boom. Slide it down. All right, here we go. Buying $20 worth of Bitcoin today on the Stack Sats Show. Rookie80, if you have any questions at any point during the show, feel free to ask questions, dude. It's all good. How long have you been in Bitcoin? Is this your first kind of trying to understand Bitcoin, or are you a seasoned veteran? You have more drum roll over here. Today's episode 226. I think tomorrow is Simply Bitcoin's 1000th episode. So make sure you go watch Simply Bitcoin tomorrow, guys. Celebrate the 1000th episode. That's kind of cool. Super cool. More drum roll, please. Well, I'm leaving tomorrow for summer in Alaska. See you guys and gals in July, in late July. Very cool, Hyder. That's a fun trip, dude. It's wild. I enjoy more the videos for beginners rather than going deep the rabbit hole. Going down the deep down the rabbit hole. Makes sense. Gotta wonder what BTC will command in dollars then, right? In July? I know. No, was it? Right? In July? Oh, there it is. Today we're able to stack an additional 289 Satoshis thanks to no fees over on Swan. Swan's doing no fees right now for your first $10,000 or your next $10,000 if you're an existing customer. With that, turn on the chill music because after we stack, we chill. And now it's time to run the poll for 24 or 45. Let's see, start a poll. 100. I can't wait to be done with the 100 stacks project. I need that money. $24. This was a stretch for me, dude, to do this extra stack here. $24 or $45. What should we buy for the 100 stacks challenge today? Choose your amount. $24 is winning so far. Let's go. Keep it going. $24 or $45. $24 or $45. What time is the show? Usually, the show is usually at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. We used to do it at noon, but now we're doing it at 2 to kind of like change it up a little bit to see if we get more people like when they're getting off of work East Coast. But yeah, that's our usual hour. And we talk about some news every once in a while. Sometimes we'll do some memes, but most of the time it's just me going over like one basic thing about Bitcoin and keeping it super beginner friendly and showing the purchase of the Bitcoin and the stack and doing a recap on the status of our holdings just to inspire people just to even look into Bitcoin, you know? All right, so the poll is almost up. There's 4 votes. It's 50-50. CME features are betting on 70K for July. Man, I think we'll be like at 80K, dude. 80K in July, at least. At least. All right. All of the I guess all of the ideas of like, oh yeah, it's gonna go here, it's gonna go to there, based off of this, based off of that, like all that stuff goes out the window if some country decides to take it up, you know. If it comes out that some country's been buying it behind the scenes, or they say that they're gonna start buying it, like those models are like Sailor says, the models are broken, right? All right. So it's at 50-50, guys. We need to have a tiebreaker. We need one more vote. One more vote. One more vote. Oh, Boltar, that's right. All right, we're gonna ask Boltar. You can ask if you have any important financial questions or you need life advice, and you want to ask our resident Bitcoin bullish fortune teller. You can do so by typing in !Boltar, and he'll respond to you with some advice on what you should do on those important decisions. Okay? Do me a favor as you're coming in. We got 5 votes. Here we go. I'm going to end the poll. Boom. Just like that. For example, I'll ask Boltar. Boltar, should I buy more Bitcoin? Question mark. See what he says. But so far, the people have spoken. The people say today is a $45 stack. So I'll start working on that. Boltars asked me again later. Oh, come on. It's like the Magic 8 Ball, but like more bullish. Let's see. So we're doing a 45 stack today. So I'm gonna get that queued up over on the browser. $45. $45. Is Boltar a true stackopath? Nice. What do you say? Concentrate and speak again? Oh my gosh. All right. There we go. I have... Oh, I didn't paste the last one. Oh well. Okay. I have this purchase queued up. Let's bring it up to the screen. There it is. $45 buy today over on Swan Bitcoin. We're stacking $45 for the 100 stacks challenge. Oh, McLovin, the exclamation point, and there's no space between the exclamation point and the B. Sorry. I'll retype it for you if you want. Here. Okay, I'm gonna type it for you. Is Roman a true stackopath? Let's see what Boltar says. He's gonna dime me out. All right, and just like that, we're able to stack an additional 650 Satoshis because we didn't. Boltar's off base. He's off base. No, he's actually based. All right, there it is. We stacked an additional 650 sats to our stack, thanks to no fees over at Swan. All right, so let's update the spreadsheet real quick. Let's see here. This one first. There it is. Okay. So there it is here. Today is 5/27. Oh, 28. Dang, it's almost over. 5/28, 24. And we bought at 68,545. We spent $45 and that yielded a 0.1236 65650. 65,650 Satoshis were added to the 100 stacks challenge. And now that puts us at 0.066 Bitcoin. That's funny. We're still in gains. We're up about 2.53% on that 100 days of savings. We have 20 days left. We're getting close. And now we're going to check out the status for the full show. Or for 2024. Let's add that data in there. Wait, give me a second. I skip the song a little bit. Hang on. There we go. All right, so for the regular show, today is also 5/28/24. We purchased at $68,540 Bitcoin. We purchased $20 worth. And that yield was 0.12329,180 Bitcoin, which is 29,180 Satoshis for that $20. I copy over to the full tracking sheet for the whole lifespan of the show. There it is. Just like that. And now our current stack for the show is 16.37 million Satoshis. And for 2024, it is 5.6 million Satoshis. Okay. The important thing here is that we remember that the number that is important is that your Satoshi count goes up. Satoshi count goes up, we're happy. Okay. It doesn't matter what the dollar price does right in the short term. All we care about is stacking more and getting more sats. It says, Carlos Jaramillo Boltar speaks, don't trade, just stack sats. Is saving in fiat good? Nice. Boltar speaks. Oh, I missed it. Boltar, how much Bitcoin is enough? Oh, it didn't respond. Interesting. All right. So what? We got over 11 people. We got 11 people watching and walking to the stream. Thanks for tuning in. Simple, humble guy here. All we're doing is stacking sats, taking custody, and showing what we're doing live every day. Well, live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. Just showing you that if a guy on the internet can run a show and talk while he's saving sats, you can do it too. Okay, so it's easy. Stack sats, take custody, and life gets easier. Okay. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. If you're new here and haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, and after about a minute, you'll be able to join us in the chat. Say hello. Feel free to ask any questions. Beginner questions are very welcome. I'll sit here and explain whatever needs to be explained. We talk about what Bitcoin is, how to buy Bitcoin, how to safely house your own Bitcoin, take custody of it, how to avoid. Well, that we also teach not to play with altcoins / poop coins. Don't play with yield products that promise you a return on your Bitcoin savings as long as you let them hold it for you. And we also don't do NFTs or NFTs. Let's try NFTs. Or that kind of spammy shill rug pull stuff. Okay. We only talk about stacking Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin only, and everybody is welcome. Oh yeah, I don't curse on purpose. I curse sometimes in my private life, but I try not to curse on the show. So you can watch this show unafraid of your grandma or your kids listening to me speak in the background, wondering what these words mean that this guy's saying on the computer. Okay, so feel free to listen in your car when you're driving. Yeah, welcome to the show. That's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Usually we end the show with this little track here, so when you hear this song, it's a cue that would come to the conclusion of this episode of the Stack Sats Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. Okay? Remember, there's no guarantee that the price of Bitcoin is going to go up, but there's pretty much a guarantee that the government is going to continue to debase the dollar, and as long as they continue to debase the dollar and make it worth less, you'll need more and more dollars to buy the same amount of Bitcoin. Okay? So that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking.